In Midland, Texas. Today is January 28, 2012, 2019. 7 years ago today, my life forever changed in this room right here. I was shot and left for dead. Somebody underneath my home shoots me 2 weeks after I called the El Paso DEA and then the Midland DEA and reported a suspected smuggling tunnel coming from my home over to that secluded truck unloading lane over there. And I now believe it's connected to human trafficking, possible drug trafficking too. It was, I didn't see the shooter. They ambushed me, shot me like cowards. Coward killers they are. And it got complicated trying to figure out what happened because a group of former secret police come sneaking into my home while I was in the hospital, while I was in surgery. They come sneaking into my home, stealing evidence, staging the crime scene, planting evidence, and really made it difficult to figure out what was going on. At the same time, they're up at the hospital. X-rays were falsified, and besides the dismemberment and all the other crime, the maiming, mutilation, all that, and this was all to cover up this failed murder that was to steal my property. The whole thing's about stealing. My first call for burglary was 14 months before this day, and by that time I had already called the police, the Texas Rangers, the FBI, and then, like I said, the DEA. Multiple times. These crimes that happened since everything's happened. I've had multiple people tell me that there's an underground facility near this home. I've had a few people tell me it's $1 million underground facility. I believe it once again connected to human trafficking, and then several different people talking about tunnels, etc. Okay, and so what I want to do is show you where I was shot, and the lie that was spread was that I shot myself with my own shotgun. Okay, and they knew I had a shotgun, and so because I survived, they were trying to come up with a way to cover it up because it's truly capital attempted murder. That they get life sentence for this, and if I died, then it was a death penalty. I'm sure, but they never planned on being caught. That's the one thing most criminals, they have in common. They are so smart; they're never going to get caught, and it's not because of me; it's because of God. I want to show you how small this little bitty room is, and this stick is 4 foot long, and actually the gun that they said I shot myself with, which I didn't, was a shotgun. It was a little bit longer than this, and I want to show you that's touching the wall right there. Okay, so we can touch the wall there, and I can touch the wall here. Okay, so this is a utility room, a washer and dryer here, and that's how this is, how short this is. Coming this way, here to there, I'm touching the wall. So you're gonna get an idea. This is a little bitty room with equipment and cabinet and all that in it. Okay, and so what was going on that day is basically I'd come home from the grocery store, and I recognized somebody had been in my house once again. Like I said, the crimes have been going on. They're still going on. I had burglar alarms go off twice today, but I get this idea to tie wire the spare bedroom or the bedroom door shut and the bathroom door, guest bathroom, and I now know that I unknowingly trapped one of these criminals, one of these burglars. The people's been stealing services from me and terrorizing me and threatening my life, spying and all the other stalking and all the other crimes. And so there was a trapped burglar in the other side of the house. I just didn't know it. And of course, I've got a shotgun to protect myself because I'm under a home invasion. I'm home. I have the right to protect myself just like you have the right to protect your home, in your life. And so I'm sure that person over there was never planned on, they never planned on getting caught. Remember, that's what criminals do, right? And then all of a sudden they're trapped in there, and I've got a gun. I'm the homeowner, and so they can call the police and say, hey, I'm committing this burglary. Arrest me, send me to prison for 10 years. There's an hidden underground access, $1 million underground facility. They murdered a little girl over there in 2010 and all that other stuff. Well, they don't want to do that, right? That's when they come up with the idea to kill me, call it an accident. Okay, so. And the other side of that is we now know I was shot with a special ammunition. I believe it's called a Glazer safety slug. That's a pellet-filled plastic tip bullet that fits in a handgun, okay? And it fits all the criteria, okay? Because the problem was after I shot, here I'm it's like, oh, you shot yourself with your own gun, 4-foot long gun in this little room right here that I shot myself with, okay? But the problem is there ain't enough room in here, And I knew at the time I had burglar alarms going off in the attic. I knew I was under a home invasion. I told the police that. That's documented on the ER report that hey, this was one more felony being committed against me. I was under a home invasion when I shot. And but I didn't see their gun because they shot me by surprise from the ground. But anyways. The size of pellets were 2.5 sizes different, but they actually fit the size of that Blazer safety slug, which fits in a handgun. There's a woman named Lisa Rogers, and she makes a comment one day saying, "You're not disabled by being shot with a 45. Okay, well, that's kind of weird. She called a specific size gun out. Okay. And I'm like, how do you know I shot with a 45? And so I questioned, whether was she here when I shot. I was told a lot of people were in the underground facility, or maybe one of her sons was here, and somebody can check that, do the investigation, and start asking some questions, because there has to be some. I mean, she didn't say a 35, she didn't say a 22, she sure didn't say a 12 gauge. She said a 45. Okay, that's a specific detail. And so now, and that's a handgun, and I could see myself being shot with a handgun in here. Okay. The other thing that we know, okay, and I'm going to show you here. I'm going to lean this camera down and towards the ground here. Okay. And so this is the back door here, and I was walking towards the back door. When I get home out of the hospital, there's a puddle of blood right here. Okay, and that's where I fell. I was actually burglar alarms going off in the attic. And I'm walking towards this door. So I got my back, I'm walking here, boom, I fall to the ground. Okay. And so the shot come in on the right side of my right leg right here. So the shot come in from this direction right here. Okay. And so we know that the shooter's gun was over here pointing this direction. Okay. And I know that from the entrance and exit wounds on my foot, because I'm walking to the back door here, and the shot entrance is here, exits over there, shot come in from over here. Okay, well, look how much room is there. Plus there's a cabinet. There's not enough room for a 4-foot long shotgun for me to be shot with a shotgun. Okay, and so I mean, somebody underneath this cabinet, and this is a new cabinet that's been replaced, but look just like it dimension wise, and had shot me. They were underneath this house. I believe that was a hidden. That ex-wife had told me in 2011 that there was a trap door in this house, a hidden underground entrance. And she's the first one suggested, you think they're coming from the ground? And I think that cabinet was never put together right, the other one, and it was missing the kickboard on the bottom. And I'm going to show you a picture of it here in a minute. And that's where the shot come from. And they were waiting for me to walk by, setting off them burglar alarms over and over. And as soon as I walked by, then they got a kill shot. They literally shot me from a foot away, directly at an artery from a foot away. The entrance exit wounds this far above ground, so we know the shooter's gun's level. Okay, so the gun that shot me, was, here's the ground, the gun is right here. Okay, so the person standing underneath the home, maybe on a ladder or whatever, and they're at ground level waiting for me to walk by, and as soon as they see me, they pull the trigger. Okay, and boom, I fall down. I don't know what happened. I jump right back up, I fall back down, and then I look around and blood's everywhere. Out here they ambushed me. I had a shirt like this. I had my cordless phone in here because my cell phone had been stolen a few hours earlier, and I had them burglar alarms going off. I was concerned, and so I tried to use the phone to call for help, and it's disconnected. They tried to kill me in my house. This was premeditated, cold-blooded murder. That's when I crawled out. And I crawled out here. I went to the other side of the house. I tried to get a phone to work. I couldn't get a phone to work. And then I decided I got to get out of here. I got to get help. And that's when I crawled out the front door. And you see that video. Okay, I got that video where I'm crawling out, pull myself in my truck, and I drive to 7-Eleven. That's when Rosie Rodriguez meets me up there. And then just a few minutes after that, the first two secret police arrived. They're seen on camera. It took 6 years. We figured out the first one was Martin County Sheriff John Woodward, followed by the late Midland County Sheriff Mike Naylor, And so, all of a sudden you can see how messed up that whole deal is there. And so I'm going to show you some pictures on the computer. Hold on a second. Okay. Here, let me show you. And this is some of the evidence stuff that I found. Okay, the medical report shows the size of pellets that were removed from my foot. Okay, and then here's a ammunition, a 12-gauge shotgun shell that was same size as my gun. And you look here and you compare it, and they're 2.5 sizes different. Okay. But the Glazer safety slug is a compressed number 6 shot right here. It shows it. Okay, they actually fit the size of pellets that are removed from my foot. Also, the Glazer safety slug is plastic tipped, and the surgeon stated that he removed a large amount of plastic and lead pellet debris from my foot. That explains it. A regular shotgun shell would not have plastic in it. And then also the entrance wound and the exit wound tells us the direction of the gun. Remember, I was walking to the back door, and the entrance wound come in here, going that direction. So there wasn't enough physical room for me to be shot with a 4-foot-long shotgun. But that using the special ammunition, it make it appear that I was shot with a shotgun when I wasn't. Okay, and when my phone line's cut, I should have died. Okay, the other thing here on the evidence side that we know I wasn't shot with my gun is no empty shotgun shell was found. Okay, and that's so I go back to the evidence log, and here's the crime scene investigator, Marty Barrett, and he was actually even a supervisor. He says, and this is an internal police report on his own personal narrative. The incident report shows that he was not at my house. Okay, keep that in mind. The only reason I got these is because of a subpoena 2 years later that I found this internal private report. And basically what he's saying is he went to my house and he picked up my gun. Okay, so he was one of the secret police, and we know that now. But that was even confirmed on the reports. And then the only shells checked in were 4 live shotgun shells. Okay, well, there should have been an empty shotgun shell if I'd shot myself with my own. It would have been inside that gun. Okay, and it was not there. And the reason is because I wasn't shot with my gun. And if I ain't shot with my gun, then I'm shot with another gun. That means somebody come to my home and shot me. Okay. And there's a word for that. That's capital attempted murder. Okay, this just tells you how a shotgun shell's built. You can see here's the shot, behind it's the wadding, and then there's the powder and the primer, and so the striker head hits here, and it explodes, a lead explosion, and it pushes the pressure, pushes the pellets out, and like this, boom, they go out. So basically, the wadding follows the pellets, and but there ain't no plastic in there. Okay, there's one piece of wadding in the shotgun shell. Okay, this was real interesting. Okay, this is the emergency room report from the ER doctor. Come to find out, the ER doctor was my brother-in-law I didn't know about. Okay, I had just filed divorce on his sister-in-law 5 days before I was shot. Okay, she's the one that told me there's a group of doctors killing people for profit. Okay, so he states on this report, right ankle exhibits a through-and-through gunshot wound which appears to have been sustained by a shotgun blast. And I think that was interesting wording because these would-be killers bought special ammunition to make it appear that I was shot with a shotgun when that didn't happen, And why would you even think otherwise? Why would you even think that it wasn't a shotgun blast? If you seen them pellets, you would automatically assume that. But interesting wording, which it appears to have been shot with a shotgun. But I have a feeling that this doctor knew I wasn't shot with a shotgun, and that's why he used that wording. And the other interesting thing is the through-and-through gunshot wound, because the x-ray was missing the heel bone, and I had 2 holes in my foot when I got there. My heel bone wasn't blown off, shot off, or whatever, and he also confirmed that with that through-and-through gunshot wound. Okay, so that was part of the evidence on the x-rays being faked. Okay, I'm going to show you the pictures. These are pictures taken here right before I'm shot. This is the last picture of me before I'm crippled for life. My 28-year career ended I've got a shotgun. Okay, that's a long gun, right? I was under a home invasion, folks. I got people breaking in my home. They've been breaking in my home. They're threatening my life. These are, now we know that they're secret police protected, cold-blooded killers that cut the victims up into pieces if they survive. Okay, and there's the next picture of me when I got out of the hospital 10 days later on crutches. Okay, and you can see that on February 7th. Okay, so that was like a first and last picture. But that picture right after that, that camera was terminated. And I believe that was done at the same time that my phones were connected. I believe it was done by the people that were preparing to kill me. Okay, that's my foot from, it's not even that, 2017. What I want to show you here is I found this on the internet. This is a person shot with a Glazer safety slug. And I want you to kind of look at how it looks. It's got that powdery look. And I just got this off the internet. You can go look some up for yourself, but they're not clearly defined pellets. Can you notice how it's that powdery look? And so I was looking here and I'm going, I can kind of see that same thing here, that powdery look. You know what I mean? Do you see that powdery look? And that is the same thing I seen on them example Glazer safety slugs. So, I just feel sure. The other side here is, I want to show you the older pictures. Okay, this is what the cabinet looked like. When I was shot, this here was not there. I put that on after I got out of the hospital. So the bottom of that was gone. Okay, and when I measured the distance, see that ruler up there? I measured the distance, the same distance here. Okay, the person that shot me was under there. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt. I believe that concrete was poured, and here's when I think the concrete's poured. There was 3 mystery days between when the secret police were caught sneaking into my home and when the only known entry or official entry by police happened on February 1st. Rosa Rodriguez come to the hospital with the consent to search form, pretending she's going to go to my home and start the investigation, and not knowing she'd been caught on camera, and I didn't know they'd been in my house staging the crime scene. Okay, but I wondered, why did they wait 3 days? Well, I think the answer is the reason they waited 3 days is because they were pouring concrete right there. That's what the deal is. And there's me standing, and this is not long after I was shot. And so, as I told you a minute ago, burglar alarms went off twice. I live under a death threat. It can't get more dangerous. And what's going here? They're literally, I believe they murdered the guy that lived here before me. They're killing one homeowner after another. Good, hard-working people. They're planning murders in advance, and they're making money off of it. This has to stop, folks. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas, 3802 Fair Circle.